Hi, my name is Chris, and today I want to talk about why you may not need anything like this and just can go with something like this if you own a Canon camera and you want to use it as a webcam. Now, this specifically here is a CamLink 4K, and it's made by Elgato. I think they're now have been bought by Alternate, so these devices are something that will capture a HDMI input and then turn that into a USB port or a USB input, which then makes a video signal, which is coming from a camera that outputs a HDMI signal and turns that into a usable webcam that you can use in programs like OBS for live streaming, as well as Zoom, Skype, or Google Hangouts for your conference calls and such things. This device is really cool because it gives you the ability to stream and have a really high quality camera, much higher even than most other webcams that you can buy on the market. And this specific device supports up to 4K in quality, which is quite amazing. Now, I have a couple of videos about devices like this and how you can use them specifically with the Canon EOS R. However, now with the Corona crisis, it has become quite obvious that a lot of people wanted to start live streaming and bought these devices, these capture cards. Now, with that, the price actually skyrocketed quite fast, and it was amazing to watch that. However, it is not really that nice that something that previously cost around 120 euros now to cost over 400 euros, and that's kind of insane. Now, luckily, there are solutions out there which you can use to not need any capture card if you have a certain type of camera, or if you have a manufacturer that actually gives you the software to do something different. My personal favorite camera right now, and the one that I'm using, is the Canon EOS R. Now, the functionality that I'm describing in this video is not necessarily tied to Canon specifically or the Canon EOS R specifically. It works with a lot of different models, and you can actually check that out on the website that I'm going to link in the description below. And all you will need is some type of way to connect your camera to your computer. In my case, it's a USB-C to USB-C cable. However, if you have a different camera, you may actually need a cable that is a micro USB cable. And if you have a computer that has a standard 3 or 2.0 USB port, then you will need something that has a normal USB plug on the other side. Now, the solution that I'm talking about specifically here is for Canon cameras. However, I have heard that other manufacturers actually have introduced similar solutions for their cameras as well. I think Nikon has done something like this, maybe Sony as well, but I am not up to date with that information. So please check that out for yourself and look it up if you have a camera from those manufacturers. Now, for a while, there were third-party solutions to this. Now, however, we have an officially supported program made by Canon, which is available for Windows and macOS. In the beginning, it was only for Windows, but a couple of weeks after that, they also now have the same version for macOS, and it is called the Canon Webcam Utility Beta. Beta because it is currently in the testing phase, and it's an early version, early prototype, so to say, that we get to use and upgrade our skills or our live streams or our conference calls and such things. Now, there's a couple of things I want to mention right off the bat. The quality that you're going to get with this software solution over a USB cord is far from the quality that you can get with a CamLink capture card or any other different kind of capture card, which will give you at least 1080p full HD signal. The solution with the USB cord, right now at least, only supports a resolution with the Canon EOS R of something like 1024 in the width and less than that in the height, which is not as much as you normally get with a full HD or even 4K. With full HD, you usually get a 1920 in width, and then you have 1080 in the height. Now, with this, you get 1024 in width, which is a little more than a quarter of the resolution that is full HD. Now, this is still not a reason to not use this solution, because I'm going to demonstrate to you the difference between using this camera, the Canon EOS R, comparing that to the FaceTime camera I have in my MacBook, which actually captures 720p, so it would be kind of comparable in terms of the resolution to what the software solution for this Canon camera captures. However, the camera built into my computer, the webcam there, is a much smaller sensor as well as lens compared to a full-blown DSLR camera or mirrorless camera in my case, which has a huge sensor and amazing glass in front of it as a lens. Now, there's a second downside with the USB cord solution, and at least at the time of this recording, it is not possible to actually record or stream the audio that is recorded by the camera through the USB cord onto your computer. This is something that is actually possible with the CamLink 4K and most other capture cards. They can take the HDMI audio source, which, for example, in my case, I use a Rode Video Mic NTG, and that is actually going through a long cord into the camera. From there, with a HDMI cord, it then goes out to the capture card and into the computer. It then becomes a audio device, which is available to me in OBS as well as in other programs, and I can actually use that microphone as my input for the conference call or live stream. This is something that is currently lacking in the Canon Webcam Utility beta. I'm not sure if this is something that they can add with software upgrades, and maybe it's something that they're working on to bring this software out of beta. However, at the time of this recording, this is not possible, and you will have to find a way to connect a microphone to your computer by some other means. Either by, for example, using headphones if you're doing a conference call, that makes a lot of sense. And if you're live streaming, maybe you have a USB microphone or some type of other capture card for your audio input that you can use that as your microphone. But now going back to the benefits of the solution. Of course, one of the big benefits is you don't actually need to buy any capture card, because you probably already have a USB cord, and if you're watching this, you probably also have a camera that supports this, so you don't actually need to buy anything new. So you can just use what you already have, upgrade your live stream or your conference calls with this software, and then from there you can see if it at some point makes sense to actually upgrade to something like a capture card in the future to further upgrade your live stream. Now let's jump to the screen and I will show you how you can use this technique with the USB cord to connect your camera to OBS and have a way better quality webcam that way. For that, as you can see on the screen, of course, you will need OBS Studio. Now, this is specifically necessary if you want to do live streaming. I also have a video how you can actually upgrade your conference calls with OBS Studio, where you can actually use the output of this program to do live conference calls with programs like Skype or Google Hangouts and similar. Right now, as of recording this webcam feature actually is something that sometimes has problems with certain manufacturers of software solutions, like Zoom, for example. They're currently limiting the virtual webcam features, and it may or may not work for you. You have a workaround, but that's a different topic. Now, if you want to do live streams to Twitch, YouTube, or Facebook, and that is probably more of the reason why you're looking at this, you're going to get OBS Studio, or you have it already, and you're going to download it and install it on your computer just like normal. The instructions are very simple, and I'm not going to feature those in this video. However, what you're also going to need is the Canon Webcam Utility, and you can get that at canon.us/livestream. And the link will, of course, also be in the description below. And as you can see on the screen, you have a little bit of a website here. Now they're actually giving us the options whether we want solutions for clean HDMI out, which is the solution I just talked about with the capture card like a CamLink. But now they also have the Canon EOS Webcam Utility beta software, which is available for Windows and Mac. And you're going to click Learn More. And there you can see they have a PDF guide and also some videos explaining the solution, and you can see the different cameras that are compatible with this solution. Most notably, this is actually also compatible with certain cameras that do not support a clean HDMI out signal, which is not really helpful if you are using this here. the solution with an HDMI cord. I think the Canon EOS 80D had that issue that the HDMI out always shows the focusing box, and this is actually not something, not an issue that you will have with this solution. The Canon EOS R as well as the RP are also supported, so you can see pretty much all the current versions of cameras and also PowerShot, the M series and so on are all supported. Now to get the software, we scroll up again and there's a button Get Beta Software. And here you can see you're going to be redirected to a page where you are learning about the different things of the software, what you need and all those things. And then you can select the software that you need for your camera. For me, it's the EOS R, so I'm selecting that. And from here I go down and there I can see the EOS Webcam Utility Beta 0.9. If there's a newer version available, which is not 0.9 and it's released after the 27th of May, please select that one and always get the newest version. So you're going to select that, click download, and after that has downloaded, you're just going to install that as instructed. You're just going to run the PKG file and follow the instructions. After you're done, it's going to ask you to restart your computer, and I actually recommend you to do that. You can't really get rid of the installer anyways, so just restart your computer and have everything nice and smooth. Now with the software installed, we are opening OBS, and as you can see, I have all my scenes ready to go, and I'm going to just add a new scene here. And inside of the scene, I'm going to add a video source, video capture device, and I'm going to make a new capture device. As you can see here, now I have a video capture device which is called EOS Webcam Utility Beta, and I'm going to select that and just click OK for the moment. Right now, I'm going to connect the camera with the USB cord to my computer. And the USB cord is plugged in. I am currently recording the video on the external monitor, the Adamus Ninja V, and I am also routing the signal with the USB cord to my computer. And with that, I'm going to double click the video capture device. I'm going to just switch off this and switch on to the webcam again. Select the resolution, which is offered as highest. And after a few moments, you actually will see it show up. If it does not, you may also try to unselect the use preset and then follow the instructions on the screen. What you will see here is that you can actually select a resolution. It's only going to offer one resolution. And the same thing goes for simple FPS value, where you're going to select the 29.97. And with that, you then will probably have a signal. What you can also see is that there is a slight delay between my recording here and this camera. It's around 200 milliseconds as far as I'm concerned, and that's just something that we're going to have to work with and also find a solution for your audio input to synchronize to that by moving a delay into the audio processing. So with this selected, again, you might want to just use the preset high, which will automatically select the highest possible settings for you, or you can do this manual selection. I'm just also going to select the 709 color space, which is what I am also recording everything in and working with, especially with everything that is greater than 1080p. And that is just what I'm working with in general. Now, as you can see here, this is a canvas which is 1080p, so it's 1920 in width and it's 1080 in height. So what this basically is, it's not quite full HD. If I were to duplicate this 4 times, you will see there is some overlap, but basically it's a little more than a quarter of the resolution of full HD. Now, if we are going to just transform this and make it fit to screen, as you can see now, it is fit to screen and it is looking really, really good. What you also will see is that it is a relatively flat profile. That is because I am actually using the C-Log function on my camera. And as a little bit of an X-course here, what we can do to actually change the quality of this video here, we can right-click this, go to Filters, go to Effect Filter, and there we can do Apply LUT. And here you can see that you can actually use different kinds of color profiles as a LUT. And there are different ones that are basic setups here, which are provided by OBS. If I just start using this, you can see that all the color profile changes, and I can change the intensity of this effect as well. However, what I'm personally using are some LUTs that I actually purchased, and they are basically made for the Canon EOS R. And if I apply this one, then you can see that it almost looks like every video that I currently make, because it has this like Alexa look, and I like that very much. Now I can also add some more color correction to this. For example, if I want to make it brighter, I can actually do this, can add a little bit of more contrast to all of this, and happy with that. Now, there may be actually, let me just add a little more filtering here. Maybe a hue shift here, not toward green, but more toward magenta. Close that. That's better. So now you can see this is the video that my camera records via the USB-C cord. Now I'm also going to add another camera to this. I'm going to show you how the quality difference is compared to the video capture device built into my computer. So I'm going to just add the FaceTime camera. And now, of course, the image isn't the same, but what you can see is that the image actually starts out already a little bigger than what the previous video capture device was. So if I reorder this and I'm just going to reset the transform here, now you can see the camera built into my computer actually is a higher resolution than what the Canon EOS Utility provides me inside of OBS. However, we're also going to see that they're far from a quality comparison, even though the count of pixels is bigger for the FaceTime camera. It is a stark difference comparing the quality of the image. But I'm just going to create a split screen here to show you how this looks, and I'm going to just make a crop pad. So I'm just going to crop about the half of it here. And I'm just moving this over so that we basically have a split screen almost. Now I'm just going to move this one over a little bit as well, so you can see some of what I am looking like. And what you can see clearly on the screen, for me at least, I don't know if this is also visible for you on YouTube, but the quality difference is very, very strong. The noise in the corner, in the background, is much, much stronger with the FaceTime camera over here. I have a much smoother image, and of course I also have much nicer bokeh, or the smoothness and the softness of the background, because I am filming with a 1.8 aperture lens here. Now what I am seeing, if I take out this crop again and just looking at the full image here of what the Canon EOS Utility gives me, I do see that the sharpness is not as great as maybe it would be if it were captured with this CamLink. And I'm just going to also plug this in for a moment so that you can compare how these two look side by side. So now I actually also hooked up the CamLink to my computer, and I'm going to add the CamLink camera to this, and going into the setup here, which now has the CamLink 4K with the high setting, and I click OK. And now as I move this one over here, which is the CamLink, and I'm going to over here, I will have the other one, which is captured with the software solution, the EOS software solution. To make these two look a little more alike, I am also going to copy the settings that I usually use on my CamLink camera that I use whenever I am live streaming with this setup. So I'm just going to delete all the filters that I have just created here. Close. And I'm going to paste, I'm going to copy the filters from here, and I'm going to paste the filter from there. So now we have basically the same camera input, and you can see the difference here. Now I'm going to just put these side by side or over each other, below the other. Actually is the input from the CamLink, and the top one is the input coming from the EOS Webcam Utility. And I personally would say there's a little bit of a difference in quality. There's a sharpness difference. And I'm just going to also start recording here so that I can include this in the full scale. And now you're seeing that version. This is now recording from OBS the video. And at the top, we have the input from the EOS utility. And at the bottom, we have the input from the CamLink. And as you can see, there is a delay on actually both of them probably, but the delay on the different versions is a little different as well. Now, if I also move this over here, well, let's go over here, we can also compare the background here, and you can do that for yourself and have a look into the details of which one you like better. The one on the top, again, is the one coming from the EOS utility, and the one in the background, no, the one in the background is the EOS utility, and the one in the front is the CamLink. Now, if you can see here when I'm waving, the frame rates are also different here. You can probably see that my computer right now also does a lot of work, and it is maybe not the perfect example because I am running multiple screen recordings at this time, but you can probably also see quite nicely that the frame rate of the software solution is far from the frame rate that the CamLink actually provides. So I hope this is an important or good comparison for you and a setup process of how you would get these into OBS. I'm going to just delete the CamLink again. And I'm also going to unplug it from my computer. And now we only have the EOS utility webcam here as well as the Facetime. As I've mentioned before, with the CamLink, you actually also get the audio signal. However, you do not get that pleasure from the EOS utility. So now we would actually also have to do an audio input capture here. And with that, you would create a new one. And here you get to select all the audio inputs that you have in your system. For example, you could use your built-in microphone. If you have headphones with Bluetooth connected, you could use those as well. Now, to actually get this working, I'm just going to use the built-in microphone for the moment. And now you can see I actually have an audio signal here. However, that's probably not in sync with the video. And what you can do to fix this is you can just go in and click this little gear icon right here. And it may look different. You can also do a right click here and then go to Advanced Audio Properties. And in here you have a sync offset. And the sync offset actually gives you the opportunity to move the audio in sync with the video. Usually, audio gets into the system sooner because it can be processed much quicker than video files are, and that is very true for this version here. And now for this, I'm just gonna enter 250, and now if I clap, it looks like it's actually pretty much happening at the exact same time. If it is, then that's good. If you need more tuning, you can do an offset here. I usually just do a test recording down here and see if the audio actually looks like it's in sync with my talking mouth. And also I do a clap test so that I have a visual representation of when the sound should occur and also have the audio that I can listen for. So now we have set up OBS and you can start streaming. How you are actually streaming with OBS and all the gear that goes into it, the setup and all that stuff, there are more videos on that on my channel and you can look at those as well. However, right now, that's all that I wanted to talk about with OBS. Now, I also wanted to show you that this actually works with other types of programs. Right now on the screen, you see a WebRTC sample, and this is just a sample that I like to use and check whether or not my webcam is working. You can also find that link in the description below. But what you can see here, it is a browser that just shows the webcam. And you can see you usually have a video source and you can select from the list of video sources that you have available, like for example, your built-in camera, and also you have different audio inputs. And this is typically what you will also see in programs like Skype, Zoom, as well as Google Hangouts or Jitsi. Now, to note, of course, the audio sync issue will be more of a problem here because you can't really fix that unless you are routing your audio through some other program to actually engage some of the delay. So this is one of the major issues that right now this solution actually brings with it, and there's no way that that can easily be fixed unless actually Canon starts to also open that up and gives us the audio input as well. But for now, at least there's a solution that you can use your camera as a webcam in OBS as well as other programs, basically for free, just by having this software. For Windows or for Mac, it doesn't matter. Now, I hope this video was helpful for you. If it was, please give it a like and subscribe to the channel for more videos like this. I have a lot coming up in the coming weeks. And if you have questions, thoughts, or comments, please leave those in the comment section down below. With this now, you can upgrade the quality of your webcam by using your camera that you already own, and also get your feet wet just by testing out the live streaming with this before actually purchasing something like the CamLink and going all in. Especially since the CamLink specifically is currently very expensive. And just a note on that, there are other devices on the market. You don't necessarily need to get the CamLink. There are different ones which I have not used at this time. However, I have seen good results and also good reviews by other people, but I'm not confident on making any judgments which ones I would buy at this time. So with that said, I hope you have an amazing day. I hope you can upgrade your live streams and conference calls with this software, and I will see you in the next video. Ciao, ciao.